Who are you? So who are you guys?
Coming under the word.
Yeah, that's my favorite. David's first question is, who are you?
Okay, so we are a company called Proximic. We have been developing what we are about to show for 5 years now, so since 2001. And since it's not trivial to do these things, it's kind of clear that we have taken so much time. By the way, Thomas, let me introduce you to Thomas. Thomas is former world champion of computer chess. He won the world championships with Mephisto chess computer in 1984.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
Wow. 1984, as you imagine. And since that time, I never done anything in computer chess, but a little bit more in statistical analysis of language. Here we are.
Well, you should go and see the Computer History Museum here in town, because they had a whole display on chess, and
yes,
they probably have some of your work.
I think they will definitely have some old Mephistos. Yes, I think we were not the very first, but the second one. Nice story how it happened, but
yeah.
So in short, so we've come up with a new technology to do language analysis, or other people call it search, or what you could call also contextual matching, and based on a very different approach. And the chess stuff is not so irrelevant, because at those times computers in the chess game world had 5 kilobytes of memory.
Yes.
So if you want to beat a human or some other computer on 5 kilobytes of memory, you have to work.
Very tough requirements.
Yeah, you have to work beyond rule-based systems, and you have to work into pattern matching. And actually, pattern matching and noise filtering is the basis for what we're doing today.
Okay.
Which,
and I think it gave a very good education. Very good education, and we see the outcome and performance. But we will talk later about this.
So when you say search, are you trying to do a search of the World Wide Web, or like Google or like Yahoo?
Well, let's not call it search. So what we're coming out with is a platform for contextual matching, and you can match content as well as advertisement into any unstructured environment.
Okay.
So
give me an example of where what would you expect the first user to use to do on Monday when you launch?
Well, first of all, to demonstrate how the capabilities, anyone can download an add-on. We have a Firefox add-on, so you just surf the web and you get continuously related results for that page you look at.
Okay.
But it certainly is just a demonstration tool, and it could be personal productivity tool, but it's a demonstration tool of what we offer to websites, to big publishers as well as small publishers. And what's so special about this is that the advertising model today is sort of reliant on the fact that you book keywords.
Yes.
And it has a limitation, because actually you need people to have fantasy to tag something into a certain environment.
Yeah.
So take a look at, it's easy for Harry Potter, because Harry Potter, you just match it with Wonder Wand, but what do you do in specific environments where actually the audience of 5 people doesn't justify to tag something?
Yes.
Autonomous robots and swarm intelligence. That's MIT, 5 people have interest in that. So what do you do with that?
Maybe 50.
Exactly, maybe you as well. But in general, you have from the advertiser perspective, you have a tough time to actually justify any effort to move into that direction, because the audience is not huge enough.
Yeah. So you get bad ads next to a lot of content, and you see this.
No, it's difficult for all sides. So it's difficult for the owner of the site, so choosing the right keywords, and it's difficult for the owner of the book also defining the right keywords, because there you have maybe swarm intelligence and colony for Mecarium. It's very difficult to solve all the ambiguous things which arise.
Yeah.
So maybe to continue on that path is, first of all, we're trying to solve that.
Yeah.
And one main trigger for us to do so is we feel that the content monetization out there is not well enough. Google AdSense is providing revenues, but I'm sure you as a podcaster also know that it's not great revenue.
Yeah, it's about, my friends are getting 50 cents to $2.50 for each 1,000 views, right?
Yeah.
So CPM.
Let me just quote one big publisher who's on our partner list, and they said, I was sitting in there and doing a sales call, and they said basically, you have to buy us out of the revenue we do with AdSense to make this happen. And I said, what do you mean? And I said, $20 a month for a huge publisher. We'll name the name later, but essentially, that is a tremendous statement.
Yeah.
And it's a statement that reflects basically the limitations of that model and the limitations of the quality of extracting the relevant keywords.
Oh yeah, and the ad agencies are telling advertisers not to advertise on the content. You know, just put your ads on search, because that's where the real contextual stuff happens, right?
Well, also the engagement of the user is actually for those two keywords which they type into the query box, and then yes, it's clear that the conversion is going to be high because it's exactly what they're looking for. But
baby stroller, right?
Yeah, if you can translate that quality into an unstructured environment of a page, you're there. The closer the relevance of the advertisement and the content, the higher the likelihood of someone engaging in that.
Yes.
And the higher the...
It's amazing if any user views a page, he has made a decision. I have interest in that page and this content and so on. And I think, not only me, we think the probability of choosing a book be connected to the content will be much more higher.
Yes.
For example.
Yeah.
On not only the first level, but also the second level. So if I'm, again, coming back to that swarm intelligence example, if I'm a mathematician who's interested in that topic and I see some related ads that specifically catch my eye, before clicking, I'm very sure what quality of I might expect on the other side. So the conversion rate on the advertiser side is going to be higher.
Can you define, by the way, you use the terms swarm intelligence and ant?
Oh, okay.
Explain how those two, just real briefly. Don't go into a Stanford University
just
dissertation.
Swarm intelligence is just a solution to the problem, which is very hard to find the optimum, for example, of the Handlungsreisenden problem,
Of the
salesman's problem,
yes.
and so on. And so ants have solved the problem that way. That the first ant is finding first way, maybe not the optimum, and others follow, and by the by the Duftmarken, by the
smell of the preceding ants, actually they find out where is the traffic jam.
Yeah.
And it's a decentralized way of actually guiding through complex systems, and they use that for autonomous robots to find the optimal way. Anyway,
but it should be honest. We don't use swarm intelligence in our search algorithm. Yeah.
It just shows it's such a specific topic that even if there are really just 5 to 10 people visiting some page covering this topic to look on it. So
yes.
What advertiser is going to come up with the idea to tag something in that environment? None.
Yeah.
Right? At least not on the existing system. So
and most pages on the web are in that long tail, if you want to say.
Yes, well, yes, moving more in that direction. So you have
always small communities, but you have 200,000 small communities.
Yeah.
And that's a very big amount of data and a big amount of content.
And then if you're going to put ads next to my email, you're never ever going to get tagging on my email, right? Which is a whole. Can your engine solve that kind of problem too?
Yes, exactly. We'll talk about this later.
So essentially, I think essentially one thing is really important to understand is also the proliferation of content. So the urgency from low quality content is growing. So today you have like 20% of today's content out there that you can deal with, but there's a huge area of non-journalistic content which is just junk, at least for the outside view. So take the gaming community, names of clans or names for some specific cheats or something. Those are things that are not trained into semantic systems, and they're not trained into what people know what to book for an advertisement. So
our approach, what we want to mention is it's a very tough, hard problem.
Yes.
Can't be cracked the easy way, and
no, there's no way to study linking behavior or other metadata the way Google has on the World Wide Web, right? Larry and Sergey had a lot of metadata to study around content, right? And that's why they could build an interesting search engine. Now you're trying to bring it into a place that doesn't have a lot of linking behavior, it doesn't have a lot of metadata.
Well, and also they imposed their algorithm on the search behavior of the people. So, first of all, and they're throwing a lot of hardware at that problem too. So, 50 to 100,000 CPUs dealing with the web index is quite a massive amount of hardware.
Yes. We will give later you some numbers about our environment.
So maybe in short about what's happening at the core. So our approach is completely language independent. It just deals with sequences of characters, of patterns within a text, and does noise filtering.